Students, it's the Maths Rabbi again, bringing you trigonometry and specifically the sine rule. I hope you learned something today. Now, in looking at the sine rule, we'll need to look at, first of all, the general formation of a triangle. It could be a scalene, it could be an isosceles triangle, it could be an equilateral triangle. Let us name our triangle here A, B, C. Now, in naming sides of any triangle, we mind the side that is opposite an angle. For example, the side C here is opposite the angle ACB, while the side B is opposite the angle at B, while the side A is opposite the angle A. So that is the way we name triangles. And in coming up with the sine rule, which we'll discuss in another video, the general formula usually is that the side A over the sine of angle A is equal to the side B over the sine of B, and the side C over the sine of angle C. Now the same is also true if you put the signs up and the sides down. What I mean is it could be sine of A over A is equal to the sine of B over B, and that is also equal to the sine of C over the side C. Now that is the general formula for finding either a side or an angle using the sine rule. Let us look at a specific example to guide us. In the triangle given ABC, we are given two sides. The first side is A, 8.86 units, and the side C, 10 units, and angle BAC, the angle at A, 54 degrees. Now we are required to find the side B, and we are also required to find the angle ACB, that is the angle at C. So let us start by looking for the angle at C. If we look at what we are given, when you're trying to do the sine rule, you'll always consider a side and an opposite angle. In this triangle here, we were given the angle at A, 54 degrees, and the side opposite is 8.86 units. Now to find the angle at C, that's angle ACB, someone else could call it BCA, we'll mind that the side opposite is already given, 10 units. Now in the general formula for the sine rule, we'll only require two ratios. That is, it could either be A over sine A is equal to B sine B, or A over sine A is equal to C over sine C, or B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. In this case, we only need A and sine A and C over sine C. So we pick that and we substitute in that we said A, which is the side A over sine A, is going to be equal to C over sine C. Remember, you can always start with an angle. Now let us substitute in. If we're going to pick sine A over A is equal to sine C over C. Let us substitute in. In this particular case, sine A is going to be sine of 54 over the side, which is 8.86 units, is equal to sine C. In this case, the angle C is not known, so just sine C divided by the side C, which is 10. Now to solve this, this is more of algebra now. we employ cross multiplication, where 10 will multiply with sine 54 degrees, while 8.8 will multiply with sine c. So that's what we get. We have 10 sine 54 is equal to 8.86 sine c. We're interested in finding c, so we divide by 8.86 on both sides, and so now we have sine c being equal to 10 sine 54 divided by 8.86. Using a calculator or otherwise, could be tables, you do find that then sine c is 0.9131. That is just 4 decimal places. Now to find c, you do the sine inverse of 0.9131, and you do get that c is actually going to be equal to 60.2 degrees, rounded off to 1 decimal place. That's it about how to find the angle at C. Let us see how to find the side B. Now we have done part A. Let us now look at part B, in which we were asked to find the side B. Let us refresh our triangle for reference purposes. It was triangle ABC, in which we were given the two sides, A 8.86 units, and we also given the side C 10 units. Now we also given the angle at A 54 degrees, and through working part A we found the angle at C 60.2 degrees. Now we are required to find side B. Of course, we're going to employ the sine rule. In this case, we'll require the side B. Of course, we do have an angle at B, which we can work out, but we'll show that shortly. The formula would read A over sine A will be equal to B over sine B. We require the side B, that's why we're involving it. Remember, you could still have gone with C over sine C is equal to B over sine B. But for purpose of this example, we have chosen to go with A over sine A. We do not know B, we are looking for it. But we can look for the the angle B. We can get it. How are we going to get it? We already have two angles. We know the sum of angles in a triangle is always 180 degrees. And so we're going to do 180 degrees, take away the sum of 54 and 60.2 degrees. That leaves us with 65.8 degrees. That is the angle at B. Having found it, we're going to substitute it into our formula, which was 8.86 over sine 54 is equal to B over sine B. At this time, we don't just write sine B, but we're going to indicate the sine of 65.8 degrees. Now, after that, it becomes much easier. This is now algebra. We employ cross multiplication and do have B sine 54 will be equal to 8.86 times the sine of 65.8 degrees. To solve for B, we're going to divide by the sine of 54 both sides, and so we end up having 8.86 times sine 65.8 divided by the sine of 54. Using a table or a calculator or any other means, we're able to find that the side B is 9.89 units. That, if you round off, you notice that is very close to 10. If you were to round off, that will give you 10 units. But remember, rounding off is not necessary. That's it. We would have found our side B as being 10 units long. Student, I hope you learned something about the sine rule. Please share this video and subscribe. Thank you for watching.